Hello viewers, I've got an interesting one. There's a company here in town that's doing an install for a small business, and they need some ductwork built. And the large companies in this area that have big duct shops won't touch it because it's too small of a job. So through a mutual friend, we were contacted, and I'm going to try to build this ductwork that they need. It's going to consist of an elbow right there. It's 28 inches by 51 inches, and that's what we're going to try to build. It's a little large for me. It's one of the larger ones that I've ever done, and but we're going to see if we can help out and get it done for them. Stay tuned. Okay, so as I said earlier, to get you a better look at what we're needing to do, it's going to be a few pieces, but they're wanting 28 inches by 51 inches, and it's got to have a 12-inch heel radius. That's what we call a radius flat 90, and that's what they're wanting me to build. And then I need to build a couple of straight pieces for them, which I'll get that later, but I thought it'd be interesting to start with the elbow. And like I said, it's the first one I've ever done this large. I've done several of them a lot smaller, but we're gonna make it happen. So the first thing we got is we're gonna start off with our piece of sheet metal, and we're going to draw out our 1-inch marks. We're gonna have these 1-inch marks for our S-locks to slip into. And like I said, it's a pretty large elbow. Kind of look for the challenge myself. So there we go, we got it all laid out there. And I got my 1 inch and 1 inch, and this is where we'll be working everything from. So we'll start from here, and we'll go up 12 inches. 12-inch radius. Right there. Back it up 1/4 of an inch because I got to have that 4-inch edge in there. Make everything line up. Like in the previous videos, that's the part we got to bend down. Okay, and then I need 28 inches from this mark. Large fitting pin. Mark right there. Same thing here. You gotta go 12 inches right there. Back that up 1/4 inch. And then from this mark, I gotta go out 28. 28. And now I gotta go out another 1/4. And there's my marks. And I gotta put me a pivot point right here where all those intersect, because this is quite a large piece. I don't want anything slipping. I got my Trammel here. I'm gonna have to adjust my settings to get that to 28. But we'll do our throat first, and then we'll come back and do the heel. That looks pretty good right there. Just do a test, make sure it lines up. Looks like we're slightly off just a little. In there. All right, make a scratch. Slide it up to the next mark. So here we go. Make a scratch. Swing and scratch. Alright, here we go. Scratch on it, yeah. Good, good. All right, there's our layout for our one side of our elbow. Man. So I'm going to use my offset aviation snips to cut this out. And we want to cut out the outside line. The inside line is where we're going to fold that edge to get, so we can have our 28 inches there. So don't get confused on which line you're supposed to cut. Cut the outside line. Don't be in a hurry when you're cutting. Just take small cuts and never close your cuts all the way down, because when you do that you start leaving burrs, or what other people call meat hooks, and they will stick in you, and there ain't nothing worse than getting a metal splinter broken off into your fingers. So always small cuts and never close them all the way down until you are finished on your last cut. And I'll give you an example. You see how smooth that is? Like that. So if I take this and I close this all the way down, close it up, and make my turns, you see the cuts, see the burrs right there. They're just waiting to get into your fingers, and they will hurt. And those sometimes are thin enough they'll actually break off, and then they're in your finger like a wood splinter. Same deal here, outside. What we got to do now is make another one. Okay, I'm discovering quite a few little problems. One, I can't use my roller because it's not wide enough to receive the metal, so I'm having to roll that by hand, and that's not an easy task. And the other thing is I can't bend cleats on my cleat bender because it's 4 inches too short. So I'm having to do that by hand also. So this whole job is really turning out to be all by hand. I don't mind helping people out, but this is starting to be a pretty difficult task because I just don't have the equipment to do it with. But anyway, I got a 1/2 inch mark in there. Lining up my folding bars here. My folding bars on the mark. Do this by hand. Not that easy. There and right there. I gotta get my drive cleats in there. Get my hand seamers. Close those down a little bit. There's my drive. to open that up a little bit. What I had to do was push this edge down more, and when I did, it closed up my gap. So I opened it back up to receive the drives. Same thing again. Get my scribe. Man down on the floor. I'm scribing these at a 1/2 inch. The drives are just slightly over 1 inch. So when these 2 1/2 inch pieces come together, it should work just fine. Get them on the line. Cleat, drive cleat number 2. Raised up again. All looks good. Did the same thing. There it is. All right. Whew. There's the throat. Tough job, tough job. All right. On to the heel. Here in the throat. The first piece I did, I cross broke to give it some stability. But it won't fit through my roller machine because it's too small. So I had to hand form this into shape, and with the cross break in it, it just wrinkled up something awful. So I had to scrap that, just cut another sheet and go back with this. And once we get the S-drives, S-locks on there, all that is stiffened up, the center will take its radius form. It's just that it's so long, but it will come into form once those S-locks are on there. Moving on. Okay, I finally got put together pieces here, and I'm on the last piece. This elbow is so large, I don't have anything, I don't have a piece of sheet metal long enough to cover the heel side of it. So I had to do it in two pieces. And so I got this S-lock in here, and I've got them joined together, and I'm fixing to put all this, the Pittsburgh and the edge, into the seam there and fold it over. And I had to get some help from the viewing audience to help hold this thing up and build it for me. So this is a little bit more than I can handle by myself, so make sure we get all that in there. All right. Thank you, audience member, for your help. Greatly appreciated. How big a boy are you? Pretty doggone big. There's that radius elbow with the radius heel, radius throat, and it's 28 by 51, and that was a monster for my shop. I don't have the tools to build a radius that large. I had to bend all that by hand. I can wore my hands out doing it, but I got it done. I'm sure the contractor is going to be pretty pleased with it, seeing how none of the larger duct shops in the area told him no, the job was too small and it wasn't going to waste their time with it. Through a mutual friend, we were contacted, told the situation, and so anyway I thought, yep, we'll do what we can do. We'll give it a shot, and we did, and I have to say it turned out pretty good. I'm pleased with it. I'm sure he'll be happy with it. If you guys like this video, please give me a thumbs up, like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.